Hello, Visions. Welcome to this session of the 2025 Virtual Curriculum Fair. I'm joined by Amy, who will be presenting this morning. Amy, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Hey, great. Thank you. My name is Amy Sage, and I have been a school counselor for nearly 20 years, working with kids TK up through high school and at the college level. I'm a mom. I have a middle school and a middle, almost high school kid, and an elementary age student. And this other person in my picture here is Ronnie Nokan. She's also been a school counselor for almost 20 years, and she is a high school and a middle-aged child. And we are co-founders of ParentingEQ, which is a life skills curriculum that helps improve behaviors and increase academics. So, real briefly, our objectives today is just really to gain an understanding of what is social emotional learning, what is emotional intelligence, how does it all relate, learn how to view behavior differently, and then how parenting EQ can help. So I'm going to just show a really brief video because it seems like during COVID, social emotional learning got controversial. And so I just want to be very clear when I say social emotional learning, and I'll talk about emotional intelligence too, what exactly we're talking about. So this is a very quick, hopefully.
Our kids are struggling right now, inside and outside the classroom. We can help our kids be more than just okay. Social emotional learning helps children build confidence, make decisions, and cope with difficult times. These life skills are about working together in school and at home to teach kids the skills they need to thrive as students and as people. That means skills like communication, problem solving, and stress management. To do a math assignment, read a book, or write an essay, children need to know how to stay focused, ask for help, and manage challenges. The best part? Life skills are shown to accelerate learning recovery, improve academic achievement, and boost graduation rates. The bottom line? These essential life skills help students excel academically, lead healthier lives, and be more than just okay. If teaching life skills in the classroom seems like a no brainer, you're right. Parents across party lines overwhelmingly support social emotional skill building in schools. So let's set our kids up for success in the classroom and beyond.
Okay, that's from the Committee for Children, which if you've ever heard of Second Step, and basically that's what we're talking about, how to teach skills to help kids be able to learn, because emotions are our biggest distractors. And so if we can't focus, then they can't learn. So now what is emotional intelligence? Well, you've probably heard of, and that's, we consider it EQ. You probably have heard of IQ. IQ are the cognitive skills, reasoning, memory, logic, and they're thought to be relatively set, where EQ is defined as an individual's ability to identify, evaluate, control, and express their emotions. They can manage, they understand what they're feeling, so they can manage that, so they can work together with others and be able to articulate their needs and so forth. And so how it kind of looks is that we teach social emotional skills like communication and problem solving. And then it overall increases your emotional intelligence, which is your ability to recognize, manage your feelings and so forth. There's 5 competencies we're going to talk about just a little bit more in depthly next. But EQ can be taught at any age, adults, children. And so that's what the good news is that anybody can learn this at any time. So what does EQ look like in real life? So self-awareness is the ability to recognize our feelings and how they're impacting our thoughts and behaviors. So kids realize that, feelings are complex and they change over time. So it's not the worst day ever. It's not the best day ever. It's going to change. And that how we're feeling plays a role in what we do next. Self-regulation is when you take a pause, because you're learning to control your feelings. You're not saying not to have feelings. You're not saying not to express your feelings, but you're learning how to take that pause so that instead of reacting impulsively, which maybe isn't going to lead to the best outcome, you can pause and then respond more thoughtfully. Motivation's the drive to set goals and act on opportunities, but it's also about staying committed when things get challenging. So we kind of roll in the growth mindset and mistakes and our learning opportunities. Empathy is being aware of the feelings of others. When you have empathy, you can see multiple points of view. You can walk in someone else's shoes. And then social skills, communicate our feelings and our needs, solve conflicts, and to work with others. Okay, so in 1995, Dan Goldman wrote a book called Emotional Intelligence. And so much research has been done since then about the benefits and the lifelong impact that it has. So improved academics, we know that they can focus better when they can handle those negative emotions. They're better to cope. They can demonstrate better problem-solving skills. It improves behaviors because they have lower levels of stress and anxiety. And because they have those higher levels of empathy, cooperation, and conflict skills, they have better relationships with peers. And there's the long-lasting impact that they're more likely to make healthier life choices as adults. And research has shown that employers value high EQ over IQ, and they'll promote those. And so I think back to coworkers that I've worked with over the years, and in particular, one comes to mind who was very intelligent. You cannot say she had the very high IQ, but she was quick to anger, very condescending, hard to communicate with, just a difficult person. And so we would say they have a really high IQ, but maybe they need to develop their EQ. And, you know, the world of work has changed. And so we really need to really, you know, we're not working in isolation. And so we really need to set our kids up to be, you know, productive citizens and work with other people too. So I'm going to do a quick couple of questions just to kind of see where we're at. If you have access to another device, there's a menti.com is what it's called, the website. Also, there's only a handful of people, so you could also put your answers in the chat. But if you can, go to menti.com, and then you're going to plug in the number above here, 3361-6891. And then what's nice is when you answer your question, everyone's answers will populate online. So we can see. So the first question is, were the EQ competencies incorporated into your K through 12 education, excuse me. Kaylee, I can't see the chat right now. So if anybody answers in the chat, if you would let me know.
Sure, I'll let you know. And I did put your Mentimeter link in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we have one never. Anyone else can weigh in? All right. Never is usually the common answer, I have to say. The next one is, were the EQ competencies discussed and practiced in your home growing up? Again, with the never, yes. I mean, personally, I learned when you get angry, you yell really loud, leave the room, most likely slamming a door, don't talk to anyone for a couple of hours, and you just come back and act like it never happened. Like, that's how I learned what you did with anger. So the point is, we really need to give ourselves grace, because many of us are learning this for the first time. And so when we're teaching our kids and we want to teach our kids these skills, we recognize that we might be learning it a little bit together. Okay, one last question. Do you ever feel like your child's behavior is a reflection of your parenting? Sorry, going in deep for the question early this morning. Anyone have a thought? If you want to weigh in too, Kristen or Kaylee? Sometimes. Yes. So it's so easy to take our children's behavior personally, especially when it's disrespectful or it feels out of control. And so the truth is, behavior speaks. And so kids are trying to tell us something. And with the only way that they can, which at the time, and especially depending on the age, is with their behavior. And as a school counselor, I could see this so clearly. I mean, I have worked thousands of kids with the most challenging behaviors over the years, and the stories I could tell, but being hit, spit, yelled at, things thrown at me. And I didn't take any of it personal because I could clearly see that that kid was struggling. But I could have a day like that and come home and my daughter rolled her eyes at me. I mean, hold me back. I called it my mom mad. I said, I have never been so angry until I had children. I had nothing to be that angry about. And, you know, It's one of those things where we have to start to think, how can we shift our perspective and look at their behavior a little bit differently? And so we can do that by looking at it as a lack of skills. So if if something's not working with your child, it's an opportunity to teach it. It's a skill issue, not a character issue. So if your kids were struggling with math or reading, we wouldn't take it so personal. We might not even get upset about it. We would say, well, we need to teach it differently. We need to practice. We need to look at how they learn. And so we want to look through the same lens with behavior because it's the same thing. And that's the many benefits of homeschooling, is that you're not just personalized learning for your academics, but you're also doing it for behaviors and the life skills. So you can meet your kids where they are and you can teach them those crucial life skills. So we're just going to talk real quick about what are some common behaviors and how we can view it as what EQ skill they need to develop further. So if you're seeing in your children anxiety, meltdowns, tantrums, big reactions, defiance, disrespect, talking back, well, they're lacking self-awareness and self-regulation. They don't know how they're feeling. They might not even know why they're reacting this way, and then they don't have the tools to calm down. If you see them giving up easily, rushing through their work, or the opposite, a perfectionist, lacking self-esteem, self-confidence, they have negative self-talk, back to building self-awareness and self-regulation. What's going on inside of me? How can I calm down and manage those feelings? And then that's the motivation, the growth mindset piece. How can I learn? Failures are inevitable. Mistakes are inevitable. It's an opportunity to grow. And then if you see that they're having difficulty making friends, they have lots of conflicts with others, they're physical, they blame others for things, back to self-awareness and self-regulation. What's going on with me? How do I calm myself down? Developing empathy so you can see what other people's perspectives, and then social skills as well. So, because we know that, if kids, again, they can't focus, they can't be creative, that they can't learn. And so, as you can see, it all starts with self-awareness and self-regulation. If we don't know what's going on with ourselves, then we're not going to be able to work on those higher level math and reading skills. Okay, so how can parenting EQ help? Well, we are a curriculum that's interactive and fun. We know that kids learn the best through play. It's the secret form of learning. They don't even know that they're learning. And so our curriculum is all about introducing these really important, crucial life skills, but doing it in a fun and engaging way. So we have 2 lines. This is our first one. It's TK through 2nd grade. It's our mini. And there's 2 parts. There's the ready to learn topics, feelings, calming down, listening, growth mindset, motivation, stress management, worries, and self-care. And then part 2 is the ready to play, problem solving and flexible thinking, communication, friendship and social skills, kindness, empathy, and compassion. So it is an open and go curriculum. Each unit has 8 core lessons. So feelings has 8 core lessons, calming has 8 core lessons, and so forth. And so the idea is that you can do it 2 days a week, and then there's a 3rd day with optional enrichment activities just to kind of keep the practice going. There a scheduled grid comes with it, so you can see the activities, you can see kind of the topics, and so there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just start from the beginning and follow the program, or you can look at, like we did just a few slides ago, what are they struggling with? Maybe what do they need to develop more? And then just start picking and choosing from those different activities. These games here in this picture are our games, our actual physical games from the box. We have, if you buy the full curriculum, we have 6 books that come with it, 5 physical games, our feeling puppets, as well as some other activities. So it's a total of a 36-week program. It has over 100 lessons. There's videos to introduce some topics so that the kids can just watch the video. There's an instructor script. You're welcome to make it all your own, but you can also start it out with using our script. There's whole family learning discussions, so that way everybody in the household, doesn't matter developmentally where they're at, what age they're at, everyone can join in and kick off the discussions. As I mentioned, the games, the books, activities, there's digital resources. It comes with a digital manual, and then you can get a physical manual if you want as well. And then I'll show you the older line real quick, and then we can ask if there's any questions. So the junior is 3rd through 6th grade, but it's also been used with 7th and 8th graders and even through high school. So it really just depends, like developmentally, where your kids are at, what skills they need to practice. Same topics as the younger, we've just phrased them and geared for more older. So ready to discover is emotional awareness, staying calm under pressure, listening, embracing challenges and staying motivated, managing stress and anxiety. Ready to connect is about creative problem solving, expressing yourself, building strong friendships, kindness, empathy, and compassion in action. It is screen-free beside the handful of introduction videos for the kids. And then there's also a parent introduction video just to kind of give an overall, what's the unit about. It's research-based. It does meet the Board of Education health content standards, and it aligns with Castle Competency, which is just the basically the leading organization for social emotional learning. So the next slide I have is about how to get in contact with us on our webpage. So do we want maybe stop and see if there's some questions, and then I can share that contact information?
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording at this point too.
Okay. Oh, do you want me to put here? Should we do this?
Sure. Okay, we've got contact information there to close it out. Perfect.
Yes. We're on
Okay,
social media. Yes. Thank you.
perfect.